So we have two countries, both in Canada and in Poland. Officials have recognized that the kids are not doing well. Yet, Poland refuses to allow these children to come home. Entirely unacceptable.
And Stephen does have full custody of...
Stephen had full custody when they were abducted. While he doesn't have custody and care right now, only because the mother has abducted the children, he still legally and officially is the primary and full custodial parent of Alexander and Christopher Watkins.
And when Stephen's ex-wife left Canada, she left on a suspended passport?
That's exactly right. She managed to leave on a suspended driver's license, using suspended passports to enter into the United States. In fact, she entered 2 different countries on expired passports.
And there were no alerts put out?
While there were Interpol alerts, nobody was checking, and nobody captured or caught her in the midst of an abduction. Now, something else that the public is not aware of, Ted Ustasevsky, the maternal grandfather, he is before the courts, been charged with aiding and abetting the kidnapping. However, what's happened is the courts have allowed him the freedom. So they've released him on his own recognizance, and he is allowed to walk freely without any bail conditions, while other people who commit much lesser crimes have strict bail conditions.
And in Poland, did his daughter not admit that her father knew exactly where the children were at all times?
I don't want to get into certain specifics, but I am aware, I have heard, that apparently many people knew what was going on. He knew exactly where the kids were. And while he was in court, he denied knowing anything about it. In fact, I captured him right after court, him saying, what are you bugging me for? I know nothing.
Is it true that the children were found at his residence in Poland?
Yes, it is.
Thank you very much.
You're very welcome.
And why are you here?
Trying to get some help by the Canadian government and actually get someone to stand up and, like the Prime Minister, to make an announcement of what's going on with my son's case is absolutely wrong. And I'm trying to get the Polish people as well to understand what's going on with the decision on not returning my sons to Canada is not within the international laws.
Do you think if the Polish community in Toronto made a stand, it would make the authorities in Poland listen?
I don't know if that would help. I think it would help them to understand Polish people, understand that our society is a little different. And if other Polish people here stood up, then I think it would notice the thing in Poland. So I think, yeah, you're right. But that hasn't been the case so far.
In the case of your 2 children, you have sole custody of your children here in Canada.
Yes.
But your ex-wife took the children during the authorized visit.
That's correct.
And left the country 2.5 years ago.
That's correct.
She left the country, from what I understand, without legal documentation. She did not have a passport that was authorized. She didn't have any ID, a suspended driver's license.
That's correct.
Did the boys have passports at the time?
They did. They both had Canadian passports that were issued in 2006. And those passports had been ordered by the courts on 3 or 4 separate dates to be turned over, and they were never turned over. And there was no enforcement measure to make sure those passports were turned over.
And she left Canada. She flew to Europe via, was it Buffalo or Chicago?
Yeah, she went to Rochester and had a connector flight to Detroit, and then from there went to Germany.
And that was the last time officially until they were found again. Anyone saw them? And they were found after ex-husband lost home again.
How they were found in those court documents, it put down the address of my son's as the same address of my ex-wife.
And this is a man who has said over and over he has no idea where to go.
That's my understanding.
He's in before the courts now.
That's correct.
Okay.
And I'm not privy to be sitting in those courts because I'm considered a witness, so I don't know what's happening within that
Can't
system.
go in any further into that case because
No, it's up to the courts here to decide.
But now the boys, when the paperwork came through to you, what were you told about their condition in court?
Well, the court documents were very specific, actually. There had been action taken by the Polish school. They had either called the police or whatever happened over there. In their society, they don't have like a child protection services, so the school themselves took my ex-wife to court, and the courts limited her parental access or parental rights, which is a big step, because my understanding in Poland, if courts or school is going to call and do all this action, it must have been very serious on what was going on with my sons. So it took a long time for those court documents to finally get here in Canada.
And since that time, you have been in Poland. You were in Poland just for the last 4 weeks, just returned?
Yeah, I was in Poland from November the 23rd until I think around the 17th or 18th of December.
And there was a court case for you to regain custody of the boys?
Yeah. I appeared 3 times in court. And I was very thankful that the Canadian Embassy was there in all the 3 court cases to hear what was going on, take notes, because obviously we have a language barrier problem. And me hearing through an interpreter is very difficult. So and that what we experienced, that is called the Hague Convention.
And according to the Hague Convention, everything is supposed to be returned to you.
That is my understanding, as the way you read the Hague Convention. My son should have been ordered to be brought home right away.
Okay. And this did not happen.
This did not happen.
When is the appeal next? Or is there an appeal?
An appeal has been filed. I don't know the date yet, as we have to wait for administrative issues to be dealt with the courts. But I understand it's very quick. So this is not something that's going to last months. It's going to be very, very quick. As soon as we have the paperwork and we have a date, I'll be going back for that appeal.
During this time, is there any chance that she can go underground again?
Oh, absolutely. She can disappear easily. And that's what's kind of shocking in all this is if there's a Canada-wide warrant for her arrest, which means nothing in any other country, but the fact is the Canadian government has issued a worldwide Interpol alert, and a lot of countries are signatories of this other treaty. So the Polish police have not taken action. So my sons are still at risk of being taken underground and go back into hiding. Which again, the Polish judge already confirmed that they'd been in hiding for over a year. My sons have not gone to school in over a year and had been in many locations. So this is still a big threat and a big danger for them.
While you were in Poland, did you have a chance to see your son?
I didn't see them. It was a bit sporadic. They're quite confused. They've been told a lot of lies, and that's not something that's easily fixed during a little visit with them. They've been told certain things which I can't refute at this point because there's not enough time, there's not enough professionals involved, and they're returning back to their mother, who was the one that abducted them. So I'm being left in a very tough situation.
When your boys come home, and let's focus when
Yeah.
your boys come home, will you be making sure they get them?
Yeah, actually that was one of the things I did prior to going to Poland is I had all my service providers here in Canada. I'll write a letter to the judge saying that I'm getting the boys home and that when they return, all these services would be available for the boys and ready to go. And that's what the key is in this whole problem with the Hague Convention is one of the reasons why they're not sent back is for mental risk. The Polish judge felt that there's a mental risk for them to come home. Well, how could you have mental risk if you have letters from psychologists and service providers saying we've been working with the boys and we'll be here when they return? That is more than enough proof to show, along with all the other letters from the police here, the Children's Aid, that have in written statements that I was a good father. I've taken many courses on parenting to make sure my sons are well cared for.